Today we're going to be talking about tardigrades and saurodartomycetes. First, I want to start off with cell respiration as our theme. Have you ever wondered how your body gets the energy to move, think, and even breathe? It all comes down to the process happening in every single cell respiration. This is how our cell turns food into energy, keeping us alive and active. So what is cell respiration? Cell respiration is the process by which cell breaks down glucose to produce ATP, the energy currency of life. It happens in three main stages: glycolysis, the Krebs cycle, and the electron transport chain. The first step is glycolysis. It takes place in the cytoplasm. Here, glucose, a simple sugar, is broken down into pyruvate, producing a small amount of ATP and electron carriers called NADH. This step doesn't require oxygen, so it can happen in both aerobic and anaerobic conditions. Next is the Krebs cycle. If oxygen is present, the pyruvate enters the mitochondria for the Krebs cycle, also known as the citric acid cycle. This process generates even more electron carriers, NADH and FADH2, while releasing carbon dioxide as a waste product. Finally, the electron transport chain, or the ETC, which happens in the inner mitochondrial membrane. Here, NADH and FADH2 donate electrons, creating a flow that drives the production of large amounts of ATP. Oxygen is the final electron acceptor, combining with hydrogen to form water. This entire process is essential for life. Every heartbeat, every thought, and every movement depends on ATP produced by cell respiration. Without it, cells wouldn't have the energy to function. Meet the tardigrade, also known as a water bear, a microscopic creature that might just be the toughest organism on Earth. Tardigrades are tiny, only about 0.1 to 1.5 millimeters, but they can be found almost anywhere: deep oceans, mountaintops, glaciers, and even space. They thrive in moss, soil, and water, feeding on algae and microorganisms. What makes them special? Their ability to survive extreme conditions. Tardigrades can endure freezing temperatures down to negative 272 degrees Celsius, extreme heat over 150 degrees Celsius, radiation, crushing pressures, and even the vacuum of space. Their secret? They go through a process called cryptobiosis. When conditions get tough, they dry out, losing almost all their water in their bodies, enter a near-death state. But once conditions improve, they will rehydrate and come back to life. For scientific interests, because of their resilience, tardigrades can be studied in space research, medicine, and biotech. They might even help us understand how life can survive on other planets. Imagine a world where tiny organisms working behind the scenes, breaking down dead plants and recycling nutrients back to the environment. This is the world of saurodartomycetes, a group of fungi that live in soil, wood, and even inside plants. These fungi are everywhere, but most of the time we don't even notice them. They help decompose dead plants, making sure nutrients return to the soil. Some types are useful in science, while others are harmful by infecting crops. Saurodartomycetes breathe just like us. Most of them use oxygen to break down food and produce energy. But what's cool is that some of them can also survive without oxygen by using a different way to make energy. This allows them to live in places where air is limited, like deep in the soil or inside rotting wood. Even though we rarely see them, these fungi play a huge role in nature. They help break down things, support plant growth, and even impact farming. Tardigrades are some of the toughest creatures on Earth, but have you ever wondered how they breathe? Unlike us, they don't have lungs or gills. Instead, tardigrades rely on cutaneous respiration, meaning they absorb oxygen directly through their body surface. At the same time, they release carbon dioxide in the same way. Since they are microscopic and have a low metabolic rate, diffusion alone is enough to meet their oxygen needs. In harsh environments, tardigrades can enter cryptobiosis, where their metabolism slows to almost zero. In this state, they hardly need oxygen at all, allowing them to survive extreme conditions like space, deep sea pressures, and even total dehydration. So while they may not have lungs, tardigrades have a simple yet efficient way of breathing that helps them survive in some of the most extreme places on Earth and beyond. Saurodartomites and the respiration. Saurodartomites are a fascinating group of fungi found in soil, decaying plants, and even living organisms. But how do they breathe and generate energy to grow and survive? Like many fungi, they rely on respiration to break down organic material and fuel their metabolism. Most saurodartomites use aerobic respiration, meaning they require oxygen to produce ATP. This process occurs in the mitochondria just like in animals and plants. As they break down sugars and organic material, they recycle carbon dioxide as a byproduct. But what happens when oxygen is limited? Some Soteriomycetes can switch to anaerobic respiration or fermentation, allowing them to survive in environments like deep soil, decaying wood, or even plant tissues. This makes them highly adaptable to different conditions. Respiration in Soteriomyces isn't just about survival, it also impacts the ecosystem. These fungi are decomposers, breaking down complex organic matter like cellulose, recycling nutrients back into the environment. Some species are studied for their metabolic flexibility, while others can be agricultural pathogens. Whether thriving in oxygen-rich environments or adapting to low oxygen conditions, Soteriomyces use respiration to fuel their survival and play a key role in maintaining ecological balance. Tardigrades and Soteriomycetes may both be microscopic, but they belong to entirely different biological groups and involve distinct ways of surviving in their environments. Tardigrades, also known as water bears, are a part of the animal kingdom and have segmented bodies with 8 legs, making them one of the smallest yet most resilient animals on Earth. Soteriomycetes, on the other hand, are fungi that grow out of thread-like filaments, which help them spread and absorb nutrients from their surroundings. When it comes to size, tardigrades are typically 0.1 to 1.5 millimeters long, making them just visible under a microscope. Soteriomycetes, however, vary widely in size. Some remain microscopic, while others form visible structures like mold or fruiting bodies. Despite their small size, both organisms have highly specialized ways of breathing. Tardigrades use cutaneous respiration, meaning they absorb oxygen directly through their skin, which is efficient due to their tiny size and slow metabolism. Soteriomyces, like many fungi, rely on aerobic respiration, breaking down organic material with oxygen to produce energy. However, they also have the ability to switch to anaerobic respiration or fermentation when oxygen is scarce, making them highly adaptable to different environments. One of the most fascinating differences between the two is how they survive extreme conditions. Tardigrades are famous for their ability to enter cryptobiosis, a state where they dry out, nearly stopping all biological activity, and can survive extreme heat, cold, radiation, and even the vacuum of space. Soteriomycetes, while not as indestructible, use a different strategy. They produce spores, which can withstand harsh conditions and allow them to reproduce and spread efficiently. Both organisms are of great interest to scientists, but for many different reasons. Tardigrades are studied for their resilience, particularly in space research and medicine, as their ability to survive extreme radiation, dehydration, could provide insights into protecting human cells. Soteriomyces, on the other hand, play an essential role in agriculture and biotechnology, as some species help break down organic matter in rich soil, while others study for their potential in producing antibiotics and industrial enzymes. Though they may seem worlds apart, tardigrades and Soteriomycetes have adapted in incredible ways to thrive in their unique environments. These are my references.